Good morning, Clark. Coming off a couple of rough games, you now get to go to South Carolina, a team that has also had a couple of rough games. Is it this maybe a good chance for the team that can get off to a good start, have an opportunity to on Saturday to maybe come out with a better result on Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I think probably the same for South Carolina. This is about us. It's about Vanderbilt developing an identity and honing that in a competitive environment. We're just a work in progress, and I think over the course of the season, we've seen progress in certain areas. And again, to build and continue to build the program, you're looking for the small wins that we can accumulate. So like even when we're short of result, you're still trying to find the points where there were strengths in performance, and build upon those, right? Obviously the learning, the critical breakdowns are easy to find and identify and teach off of. But for us, it's about putting together a complete game. I thought on Saturday we were good in spurts, but obviously good in spurts in this conference sets you up for a disappointing result. And how can we find a more consistent 4-quarter approach and be competitive, and again put ourselves in a position to finish the game off on the road, which is always a challenge. So the narrative building up to is not really our focus. Our focus is strictly on performance. And again, like every week, put ourselves in the best position to win a game.
Aria?
Clark, the pass rush showed some improvement last week over Florida. So what would you, like to see from that unit this week to kind of carry on that improvement?
Well, we have to win one-on-ones. We can't always create that rush by adding, blitzers. We have to be able to win one-on-ones and convert. I think particularly in the play action game, we're having trouble at times converting from our run read to a pass rush. We're getting stuck on blocks, and the quarterback just has all day. I thought Coach Minter and his staff did a good job of creating rush, against Florida, and I thought that gave us a chance to create a little discomfort in the pocket. But on the deep balls that they completed, there was still too much time back there, and so, when we are rushing for, the focus has to be on winning a one-on-one, and then, again, on play action game, converting from a run read to a pass rush.
Grizzly?
Hey, Clark, what needs to happen to get Ben Bresnahan more involved in the passing game?
We had some shots to him in the UConn plan, and I felt good about that. We had one to him on Saturday that we overthrew him. And, I think also there's just, some of the routes that he's spotting up over the ball, it's just finding him. I mean, he's open at times. It's just locating him and delivering the ball to him. So I don't know, I think there's design around him that we've done and will continue to do. I think there's also just making sure that he's a part of the progression read and that we're locating him when he's open. Ben is such a warrior, and he's battled through injury and a bunch of bumps and bruises, and I think we're finally getting him back to where he's feeling confident in his body and physically healthy. So obviously we think he can be a featured part of our offense. There are typically over the ball, they're tighter windows. There's a pass rush that you're throwing through. So maybe, Chris, part of the answer to that is like, let's secure that pocket and let's give a step up lane for the quarterback, and let's, allow for that route that's spotted up over the ball to be found, later in the sequence, rather than, a lot of our throws being kind of sprayed out on the perimeter. And so, there's a number of factors there, but he's certainly a guy that we think can be, a featured part of the offense.
Robbie?
Hey, Clark, what parallels or similarities do you see between you guys in South Carolina, with them also having a first-year head coach and sort of trying to build up from a couple of losing seasons in a row?
That's probably the parallel, right? I mean, every program's different, and every, programs positioned differently and different players, different situations. I don't think that you can draw a lot of comparison that way. I think, it's two teams that are going to be fighting for a win on Saturday, and that, have experienced varying levels of disappointment, and, but also are improving and also are finding identity through the year. And we'll have our different angle or different approach on that based off who we are. And Coach Beamer will have his team ready to play based off who they are. And, we expect it to be a fun, competitive environment where we'll be excited to have a chance to put the ball down again. But the first year narrative, the new coach, new culture narrative, I think those are, similar places for our programs. As far as the kind of DNA of each team, I think every program is just a little different. So each situation is different.
Joe from the Daily Gamecock, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Gamecocks have sort of a diverse running game with Doty's ability to scramble, and then you got guys like Kevin Harris and McDowell. Is there something you can do defensively to kind of interrupt that run game and disrupt the run game?
Well, it's about having your numbers in the right places. It's about accounting for the quarterback. I mean, he's certainly athletic enough to move the chain and create scheduled runs. So like we're going to be accounting for him, and there's similarities in that sense in the style that Florida plays. So I think we have carryover in that regard. But obviously the running back is a dynamic player and a guy that we have to be aware of and we have to be able to neutralize. And then it's going to come down to the one-on-one matchups on the perimeter, right? I mean, there's an ability to be dynamic for South Carolina's offense that we're going to have to really be on our game defensively and be alert to where the playmakers are.
Chris?
Hey, Clark, I don't see him on the depth chart this week, but Delphin Castillo played a good number of snaps against Florida. That's not really common this time of year for true freshmen at Vanderbilt. What went into that decision? What are your plans for him for the rest of the season?
Well, he's a guy that swings for us, that can fill in at either guard spot, that we actually have in high regard. I mean, we think he's developing into a player that can have impact, and he'll get rotation in the week. And if he, as a young player, if he responds well to the plan and we feel like, gives us a chance to win, he'll play, so his absence on the depth chart isn't a reflection of his ability to impact this game on Saturday. I think as a young player, he'll get opportunities this week. We felt like he played well against Florida. He held his own. We felt like he wanted the point against a good front, and held his own in pass protection too. So there are things to build in there, and it's just a young guy that we think has great promise that we want to keep bringing along in practice and see how he can impact us on Saturday.
Robbie?
I wanted to check how's Rocco been looking the last couple of days. What is his status looking like for Saturday at this?
At this juncture, it appears he'll be available, and I expect him to be able to practice this week. But like anything, I mean, we have to continue to track how he's responding, and he's got to have a healthy week in practice. But I saw Rocco this morning; he was in good spirits, and I think he's trending the right way. So we'll be excited to have him out there with us on Saturday.